for event security. The town of less than 19,000 refused to spend taxpayer
Just look that
money
up for a second.
that it might be reimbursed by federal funds. A joint
Oh, you gotta be
statement
kidding me.
released Wednesday noted that
Stuff
the
is-
town will not incur any
It's solid as a rock.
cost
Put it down. I'll have to bring in some of mine.
to the World
It's
Cup.
dead. It's hard as a rock.
Hasn't even been opened and it does that. That's ridiculous.
This I'll toss out on Monday. At least we can take some more.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, jam that up and I'll bring it. I'll put it out Monday morning.
Sounds good.
I debated doing it this morning, but I'm like, there's some more shit to do. So cram it up.
All right.
Put it out Monday. All right, now.
Friday the 13th. Yippee. Last month, I think, was Friday the 13th. Did we get back-to-back Friday the 13th? That's the last time that
Yeah,
happened.
there was. There was one last month too.
Yeah. Wonder when the last time that happened was.
I don't know.
He scored 35 last night as OKC Thunder beat the Boston Celtics 104 to 102 at the Paycom Center. Jaylen Brown scored 34 for the C's. Jason Tatum sat out. He's continued to recover from his right Achilles tendon surgery.
And next time I do a supply run, I'll get some more super glue too.
Their home
Because
court
it is
will be
handy.
used for an ice hockey
All right, I'll
game.
see if I can fix that on Monday when I come in.
Okay.
Celtics at TD Garden tip-off
Let's get my
at
girlfriend's
6 p.m.
doing. I want to just
Saturday
take
night.
a breakfast. I want to go back to my place.
St. John's defeated Providence
Last time, Friday the 13th, occurred in back-to-back months, February and March, was in 2015.
Interesting.
It occurs on a non-leap year. February begins on a Sunday, allowing both February and March to have a Friday the 13th. The next occurrence after this year, 2026, will be 2037. It happens every 11 years. Yippee.
40s today with gusty southwest winds.
Like I said, I'm not a big fan of 13.
Partly cloudy, low.
No, me neither.
A lot of bad things happen to me. Like I said, when I finally got my adoption papers, and it's like, Christian suffered a small seizure at the age of 13 days. I'm like, oh my God, even then, right? There was something wrong with 13. All right. Take care, Joey.
Take
See
care.
you. Bye. Oh.
As a part of Brown University Health, Morgan can continue to provide the trusted care you depend on, supported by leading science that lights the way. Still local, now limitless. Morgan Hospital is now part of Brown University Health.
Commercial.
WVBF is your hometown radio station. And one of the things we like to do to support people in your hometown is to run community announcements. If you do belong to a nonprofit group or organization, or if you're an official with a city or town government, send your community announcements along
Tonight.
to our email address. It's safe, it's fast,
That's
and allows
tomorrow.
us to get right back to you
That's this
if you have a
weekend.
question.
That's
Send
Monday.
community announcements to WVBF
Tuesday, I mean.
1830 at hotmail.com.
That's next week.
That's WVBF
That's
1530 at
That's
hotmail.com.
4th.
Thank you
that.
for listening. Your
Polish
hometown radio
food sale.
station is
We'll
AM 1530
talk about that.
WVBF and 99.7 FM.
One more commercial. One more
I
commercial.
found hope in the midst of an
I'll
overwhelming
try to get everything
situation.
going.
I let go of trying to control things that I had no control over, and that helped me find peace of mind.
Again.
Is a disease that can affect any family. Everyone suffers, but there is help and hope
Focus on my
in
day.
Al-Anon family groups.
I was constantly stressed and worried.
I don't remember.
Now I approach each day with joy and gratitude.
In Al-Anon, families and friends of alcoholics find new ways to heal from the effects of a loved one's drinking.
Al-Anon gave me my life back. I'm a better father and husband.
Are you in an overwhelming situation because of someone else's drinking? Al-Anon and Al-Team can help. Local and virtual meetings are available. Maybe one could work for you. For information, call 1-866-200-0033 or visit alanon.org/hope.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests. It's time for Hometown Talk on AM 1530 and 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station. Our phone lines are now open at 508-822-1106.
Sounds pretty good. All right. All right, okay. 3, 2, 5, 4, 3, 1. And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Hometown Talk, the Friday edition of Hometown Talk. I am Joey Driscoll. It is 9:12 a.m. here. Open phone lines today. No guests today. 508-822-1106. 508-822-1106 is the number to call. We have a lot of interesting events to talk about today. A lot of interesting things going on to talk about, but we also have your phone calls. 508-822-1106 is the number to call. Again, no guests today, so open phone lines the entire program. Over the next couple of weeks, looking to get some guests here for the next couple of weeks, starting next week. So no guests today, but we have open phone lines. Okay, today is Friday, March 13th, 2026. I'm Joey Driscoll. This is Hometown Talk. And yes, it is again Friday the 13th. Last month was Friday the 13th. Now, a little bit of an interesting tidbit about that. The last time Friday the 13th occurred back-to-back months was February and March, which was in 2015. I don't know exactly if it was February and March. I believe it could have been. But the last time Friday the 13th occurred back-to-back months was in 2015. This phenomenon occurs when a non-leap year, February, begins on a Sunday, which this year did, allowing both February and March to have a Friday the 13th. So last time that happened was 2015. And the next occurrence after this year, will be 2037. So this happens every 11 years. And also, a note as well, that there will be a third and final Friday the 13th in the year of 2026, and that is going to take place in November 13th. So we have these two Friday the 13ths right now, and then coming up in November, the 13th of November. So that is coming up again in a few months from now, 8 months from now. But yeah, there you go. A little bit of an interesting little thing about Friday the 13th going to get us underway for the show today. Thought I'd mention that because that's since that happened last time. It's been 11 years, and it's going to happen again every 11 years after that. So, wanted to mention that. That's something a little bit interesting, for sure. All right, let's take a look at our weather real quick. It is sunny and 34 degrees outside. We have a high of 42 today with a low of 27, and clear skies today The wind might be a little bit of a problem. 13 miles per hour gusts. So it's a little bit colder out there, but we have sun for most of the day. It will get cloudy towards the end, maybe even sometime in the afternoon, but it will get cloudy, increasingly cloudy. But sun for the morning, 42 degrees. Tomorrow it'll be warmer, 47, but it will be windy. So the feels like temperature might be a little lower than 47, but it's going to be relatively warm. 47 degrees tomorrow, low of 33, and on Sunday, cloudy skies. We're going to have a couple of days where you're not going to see a whole lot of sun. It seems like Monday and Tuesday it will rain in the upper 50s, lower 60s on Monday, Tuesday. And then the low temperatures kind of fall a little bit into the lower 20s, but they do get back up to upper 20s, low 30s again. But kind of sticks around, the highs stick around the upper to lower 40s starting Wednesday of next week. And it goes on for multiple days. But hopefully we've seen the last of the snow from last night. Hopefully that was it. Crossing our fingers here, that was it. We got a little bit of snow. Not much really foul. Really, it's not noticeable too much unless you really look out there. But did snow a little bit. As a comparison, we'll talk about Middleborough first here, actually. And then as a comparison, we'll talk about another town I mentioned on my Sunday show. And we'll get to that in a second. But let's talk about Middleborough real quick. 34 degrees, high of 42, low of 26. Clear skies in the morning, getting increasingly cloudy in the afternoon. And then you're going to have clouds throughout the weekend and into Monday and Tuesday. The sun will return on Wednesday, but cold temperatures will follow the sun returning there more often on Wednesday. And the cold temperatures kind of follow that kind of cold temperatures. I mean, in the 40s, it's kind of the average, I think, for the time here in March. But a little bit of wind out there right now. As a comparison to what we're talking about with the weather, there are 3 towns I talked about. I'm going to mention one here. I'm not going to mention all 3. There are 3 towns I talked about in the Middleborough in Review program. If you're listening to the weather segment on Middleborough Review program on Sunday mornings, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., I talked about 3 towns. 2 of them bear my last name, Driscoll. That is Driscoll, North Dakota, and Driscoll, Texas. I also talked about Holiday, Florida. But we have a little bit of an update on what's going on in Driscoll, Texas. The temperatures are kind of similar right now to what we've been seeing. 48 degrees right now. It is early in the morning, so that makes sense. Those temperatures. It will go up. It will go up. You're not going to be in the 50s today in Driscoll, Texas, if you happen to be listening to us there. It is 82 today for the high in Driscoll, Texas. Clear skies throughout the day today, so that will allow the temperatures to rise. It will be 95 degrees in Driscoll, Texas on Sunday. 95. Wow. And then the temperatures shoot right back down to 68 on Monday. But beautiful day on Sunday. That is the pick of probably the month, if I had to guess. If you're in that area, if you happen to listen to us in that area, that is the pick of the day. Sunday in Driscoll, Texas. That's the Corpus Christi area. of Texas. That is a beautiful day, and pretty soon in that area as well, you're going to have baseball happening in that area. There are several Texas minor league teams out there in the MILB. You got the MLB, of course, as well, the Texas Rangers, the Houston Astros, starting up in a couple of weeks, their regular seasons. And you got Sugarland as well. They had a minor league team. There are several minor league teams. Frisco also has a minor league team as well. So a lot of baseball starting up in the state of Texas pretty soon, and around the country as the minor leagues get underway in 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today. And Major League Baseball gets underway just about 2 weeks as well. A little less, I think, than 2 weeks now. We will see the start of Major League Baseball. But there's your weather. I wanted to kind of start off with that. Kind of a beautiful day today here in this area. A little bit of clouds there, but a beautiful day. It's not going to rain, which is good. So there you go. 9:22 a.m. Let's take our first commercial break right now. When we come back, we'll open up the phone lines. The phone lines are open. 508-822-1106. 508-822-1106 is number. Coming up pretty soon is St. Patrick's Day as well. We'll talk a little bit about that too. But 508-822-1106 is number to call. We will be right back here on WVBF 1530 AM 99.7 FM. Okay, what are we doing for ads? One ad. 461.
1 in 10 people age 50 and older in the U.S. have early age-related macular degeneration.
Because macular degeneration often has no early symptoms, many don't know they have it until irreversible vision loss has already occurred. Well, when I first found out that I had macular degeneration, it was really scary. I mean, my eyes were my living.
What's most important for me to see? My family, my loved ones, my pickleball game, everything I do is dependent upon my vision.
Being able to see, be able to spend time with my children, be able to travel is extremely important. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have my vision. Don't miss life's most beautiful moments.
Schedule a comprehensive eye exam to protect your sight.
Macular Degeneration Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Go to stopamd.org to learn more.
Okay, it is 9:24 a.m. We are back here on Hometown Talk. I am Joey Driscoll. Today is Friday the 13th, March 13th, 2026. Open phone lines today. 508-822-1106 is the number to call. Now, we got a couple of local stories, of course. The hurricane season gets underway on June the 1st. Now, I know that's a couple of months away. We're still going to get through spring and all that. But the names for the 2026 Eastern Pacific Storm and Atlantic Storm season for the hurricane season has been released. We'll start with the Atlantic. The 2026 names are, and then I believe they go on about, I think it was a 7-year cycle or something like that. So these are the same names that showed up in the 2019 season, I believe. I could be wrong. Could be a little bit. The cycle could be a little bit longer than 7 years, but I believe these are the 2019 names. We'll start with the Atlantic here. Arthur, Bertha, Cristobal, Dolly, Edward, Faye, Gonzalo, Hannah, Isaias, which I believe is a new name, Josephine, Kyle, which I think is a new name too, Leah, I believe that's also a new name, Marco, Nana, Omar, Paulette, Renee, Sally, Teddy, Vicky, and Wilfred. So there is your names for the 2026 Atlantic storm season. There's a couple of new names in there that I don't recognize. I believe Isaias is one of them. I don't recognize Vicky. Could be wrong. But there's a couple of names in there that I think are new. For the 29th, from I believe 2019 season was the last time. I will take a look at that real quick. I believe we're gonna have that a little bit here, but I believe that is a different, couple of different names there from the 20. Last time these names were used, I believe, is 2019. Oh, 2020. All right, 2020. It was a year off. 2020 was last time these names were used. So the exception of Leah, that replaced Laura. Hurricane Laura was a major Category 4 storm in the 2020 season, and that made landfall in the state of Louisiana. So that was a very huge hurricane. That was the first major hurricane of the record-breaking 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. And that name has been retired and replaced by now Leah. So there you go. That's the one name change that has been named. I thought there was more. It looked like there was going to be more changes here. Some names here that I don't recognize from the last time. The first 3 I recognize. Actually, the first 6 I recognize. Actually, I do recognize the first 6 names here, but don't recognize all of them. But that was the last time these names were used. It was 2020. So the June 1st Atlantic hurricane season begins on June 1st, of course. So there's your Atlantic hurricane names. We're going to talk about the Eastern Pacific, but it is 9:30. So let's take our news break right now. When we come back, we'll talk about the Eastern Pacific. Take your phone calls, 508-822-1106, 508-822-1106. And we'll have much more on the show today. We'll have a music segment as well, talk about some things in the world of music. We have a lot of concerts coming up in the area. We have a Highwaymen tribute show to talk about. We have a new William Shatner album to talk about too, kind of in the same sense as Christopher Lee did in the later part of his life. William Shatner is doing now here in his 90s. He is in his 90s, and he's doing heavy metal albums. So that's very, very interesting. Christopher Lee did the same exact thing. Those were really, really good. We'll maybe talk a little bit about that too. But it's 9:30 a.m. Let's take our news break. We'll be right back, and we'll continue talking a little bit about the 2026 hurricane season. for the Eastern Pacific, go over the names, talk about what's different in the 2020 Eastern Pacific hurricane season as well. But there you go. It's 9:30. Let's take our news break. We'll be right back.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. The bodies of 4 American service members have been found following the crash of their military refueling plane in western Iraq. The search continues for the other 2 crew members. We get the latest from the BBC.
U.S. Central Command says the circumstances of the crash of the KC-135 are still under investigation, but the loss of the plane was not due to hostile or friendly fire. According to the U.S. military, a second aircraft involved in the incident landed safely. The crash happened in an area of western Iraq where pro-Iranian militias operate.
At a Pentagon briefing this morning, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said Iran's new supreme leader is wounded and likely disfigured. Yesterday, Iranian state TV read a statement from the new Ayatollah, but he did not appear on camera. A large explosion rocked an area of Iran's capital today, where thousands were gathered for a mass demonstration calling for Israel's demise. Meanwhile, in Turkey, NATO defenses intercepted another ballistic missile fired from Iran, the 3rd time since the war began. President Trump says he doesn't think it would be appropriate for the Iranian soccer team to attend this year's World Cup. The president on Thursday cited the life and safety of Iranian athletes as reasons why the team's members should not attend. The U.S. will be hosting the World Cup alongside Mexico and Canada. Earlier this week, the president had reassured the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, that Iranian players and coaches would be welcome despite the war. Iranian leaders say it is not possible for their country to take part in the World Cup. By the report, the government reports this morning the U.S. economy advanced at a sluggish 0.7%.
I don't see why they can't.
Last year, a big downgrade.
Either.
More at townhall.com.
Yeah.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you.
I don't think any of the fans are gonna
you know that
try to hurt any of the players.
Sure, it sounds
So
nice
I
to be
don't
in nature
understand
while exercising,
that,
but that's what a gym and house plans are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs, so why would you walk up a hill for miles to what? End up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget.
Good morning, everybody.
Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
Hi, everyone. Super Bowl champ Vernon Davis here from Legal Help Center. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up, because we have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. You can find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, Vernon. You heard it, folks. If you've been injured, call and find out how much you qualify for. Call 800-541-5100. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states. Not available in California.
Correspondent Ken Lorman reports on whether Iran's war effort is running out of money.
Satellite imagery suggests reduced shipping activity in Iran's Asaliya gas and petrochemical complex, raising concerns about the regime's cash flow and its ability to pay the Revolutionary Guard Corps. Reports of strikes, desertions, and even an attack on the regime's main payroll bank hint at growing instability if key security forces go unpaid.
A man with a rifle crashed into a Michigan synagogue in what federal officials say was an attack. Officials say the man was killed by security after ramming into Temple Israel in West Bloomfield Township near Detroit. Authorities say he drove down a hallway in a vehicle, then caught fire. The FBI is leading the investigation. It was an attack on one of the nation's largest Reform synagogues. More details from townhall.com. NASA has cleared its Artemis moon rocket for an April launch with 4 astronauts. NASA's new moon rocket's been in the hangar for repairs, but now
all the teams polled go to launch and fly Artemis 2 around the moon.
NASA's Lori Glaze.
It's a test flight and it is not without risk, but our team and our hardware are ready.
Glaze says Artemis will roll back to the launch pad at Florida's Kennedy Space Center next week. And while cautioning there's still work to be done there,
we are on track for a launch as early as April 1st.
It'll mark humanity's first trip to the moon in more than 50 years, targeting a lunar landing for 2028. I'm Ben Thomas. 85-year-old Congressman Jim Clyburn of South Carolina has no plans to retire. He announced this week he will run for an 18th House term.
Wow.
In November. More on these stories at townhall.com.
18th House term. That's a lot. He's 85. Wow. Okay.
But when it comes to online marketing, ordering, and delivery, Devour Now has got you covered. Devour Now has 0% commission, no setup costs, and the delivery solution you've been hoping for. Go to getdevournow.com to request a demo and to get started today. That's getdevournow.com. Commission-free online marketing, ordering, and delivery.
All right. There we go. Pacific. There we are. Pacific Hurricanes, isn't it? That's what it's called. Okay. Strong names. And we are back here, and it is now 9:37 a.m. here in the morning. Open phone lines here on Hometown Talk, the Friday edition of Hometown Talk. And 508-822-1106 is the number to call. You want to call in and talk about what is on your mind this morning. 508-822-1106. Now, we were talking about the Atlantic and the Pacific hurricane seasons, and we have lots of interesting stuff to talk about with that. And we have no changes. So this is going to be very easy for the 2026 season. We have no changes from the 2020 season, by the way. 2020 season, I think, was kind of a down year for the Eastern Pacific, or the Pacific hurricane season. No retired names. So we have the same names as the 2020 season we had. And those are as follows: Amanda, Boris, Christina, Douglas, Adelia, Fusto, I believe that's how you say it, Genevieve, Hernan, Isel, Julio, Karina, Lowell, Marie, Norbert, Odalius, I believe that's how you say it, Polo, Rachel, Simon, Trudy, Vance, Winnie, Xavier, Yolanda, and Zeke. There's your Pacific names. And again, same list as 2020. No retirements in 2020 for the Pacific hurricane season. And again, that season gets underway on June the 1st. We also have another part of the Pacific hurricane season as well. I believe that gets underway on June 15th as well. So there you go. Wanted to mention that. All right, we're going to move on here to some local events to talk about here on this segment. Got a lot of events to talk about coming up this week and next week. First off, the Center on Main, located on 49 Main Street, downtown Taunton, they're bringing back jazz nights with the Goodfellas. That is coming up tonight, 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And then again 2 weeks from tonight at the same time. Fun for the whole family, no charge for admission. Coffee, ice cream, pastries, refreshers, smoothies, and more will be available for purchase. So that is coming up tonight, 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And if you missed tonight's event, they'll hold another one 2 weeks from tonight as well. The Middleborough Elks, they're hosting a meal with live music tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. The Middleborough Elks Lodge is located at 24 High Street. This is to raise funds for first responders and veterans through the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Dinner will be served from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the lodge, and the band will perform at 7 to 10 p.m. There will include corned beef and cabbage. Without the meal, attendees can donate $5 to $10 and enjoy the event, live music, and raffle. Free the pre-sale tickets, those cost $25, $30 at the door, $15 for kids, 10 and under. By the way, there will be kid-friendly meal options as well. So not just there won't just be corned beef and cabbage. There'll be some kid-friendly options as well for this event tomorrow. The raffle and auction will include wood sculptures, which are created by Lakeville resident and wood carving artist Wayne D. Moranville, including a 4-foot-tall bald eagle sculpture and other smaller carvings. Tickets can be pre-ordered through the lodge by calling Wayne D. Moranville at 508-947-2393. People can also purchase a ticket so a veteran in the community can attend the event. Again, tomorrow night, beginning at 6:30 p.m. Also coming up this weekend, the 12th annual Rehoboth Seekonk Rehoboth Seekonk $15 rabies clinic, scheduled for Saturday, March the 14th. That's tomorrow, 9 a.m. to noon. That's at the Public Safety Building, 500 Taunton Avenue, Route 44. Rehoboth and Seekonk. There we go. Town clerks will be there to renew your dog licenses as well. So coming up tomorrow, 9 a.m. to noon. If you have any more questions and want more details, 508-252-6502. So there you go. The 12th annual Rehoboth Seekonk $15 rabies clinic. So that's coming up tomorrow. Coming up on Tuesday, now the St. Patrick's Day is coming up this week. We're going to talk a little bit about St. Patrick's Day. Actually, we'll wait on this event real quick because we're going to go and talk about St. Patrick's Day in the next segment. So we'll wait on this event. There's a St. Patrick's Day event coming up in Taunton. We're going to talk a little bit about that in the next segment. This week coming up as well, next Wednesday, or this upcoming Wednesday actually, the Taunton Lodge of Elks 150, honoring all those who served and currently served, or who served and currently serve. Monthly luncheons for veterans, that is the third Wednesday of every month at noon. The third Wednesday of this month is next Wednesday, the 18th. Veterans and currently enlisted military members eat for free. No reservations are needed. At the Taunton Lodge of Elks 150, which is located at Miles Sanders Industrial Park, 775 John Quincy Adams Road in Taunton. You can contact 508-824-1500 or meal@tauntonelks.org if you have any questions about the event. Again, that's coming up this Wednesday. And that's one other food type event here that I want to mention. And then we'll take our next break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about St. Patrick's Day. We'll talk about any parades that are coming up, any St. Patrick's Day events. We'll talk about the Boston breakfast as well, which I think is on TV every year. I think it still is on TV every year. I don't, watch it, honestly. I think I've only watched it maybe once or twice before. And that's usually in the morning on St. Patrick's Day. So talk a little bit about that, see what information we can get on that. Any parades or anything like that, the MBTA and what they're doing for St. Patrick's Day, what Taunton is doing for St. Patrick's Day as well. We'll have that here coming up after the break. But first, real quick, the Taste of Greater Taunton, the ultimate celebration of local cuisine. Master chef sponsor is going to be Morton Hospital, now part of Brown University Health. It is presented by the Taunton Area Chamber of Commerce. It's coming up on Tuesday, the 24th of March. So that's coming up, not this upcoming Tuesday, but next Tuesday after that. Taunton Hotel and Conference Center, 700 Miles Standish Boulevard, Taunton is the location for the event, sponsored in part by Morton Hospital, T-Fed Credit Union, and the TMLP Online. Early bird tickets, adults $35, children 5 and 12 is $20. At the door, adults are $45, and children are still $20 if the child is 5 to 12. And if you have any email, any emails or questions, email Chris Silva, chris@tauntonareachamber.org. All right, 9:48 a.m. Let's take our last commercial break of the hour. When we come back, we'll talk about St. Patrick's Day, what is coming up. That might bleed into the second hour too, depending on what events are going on. But we'll talk a little about that. In the second hour, we got also our music, our music segment. We're going to talk about some music, local and national out there. Do that. Got a little bit of a interesting thing about Christopher Cross that I learned this morning. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk a little bit about William Shatner as well. That's going to be an interesting topic as well. And give you kind of some updates here on some of my favorite bands and what they're doing. Rush is continuing to expand their 50-year or 50-something year tour dates. It's going to be coming up, I believe, starting this summer and going in well into, I think, 2027 at this point. So they got a big tour coming up. It's a world tour, which I expected. I expected them to probably embark on a world tour. This is probably if I had to guess, probably their last big tour. I don't think an album is going to come out of this. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. They do have a new drummer, as I mentioned. When that news broke, does that translate into a new album after this tour? I don't know. We'll have to see. I think Clockwork Angels, though, is a pretty fitting way to end the career of Rush. I don't know if they're going to go and do another album after that album. But, all right, it is 9:50 a.m. Let's take our last commercial break of the hour. When we come back, we're going to do a segment on St. Patrick's Day. And your phone calls, still open phone lines throughout the program today. 508-822-1106 is the number. We will be right back. $136.
Matthew Mission Food Pantry helps people with food insecurities from the hardships of life. In a few short years, they have given more than 4,000 bags of groceries to those in need at the north door of the First Parish Church, 76 Church Green, and are available to anyone, no questions asked. The demand increases every week. Please consider a donation of unexpired, non-perishable food items, grocery store gift cards, or a monetary donation via check to the Matthew Mission Food Pantry, 76 Church Green, Taunton, or by Venmo at Matthew Mission Food Pantry. The Matthew Mission Inc. is a registered 501c3 organization. Thank you.
The Matthew Mission Food Pantry is now open the second and fourth Saturdays of the month at 76 Church Green in Taunton.
Don't miss InfoTrack weekends here on WVBF. InfoTrack is a weekly nationally syndicated public affairs radio show that features interviews with experts discussing topics of real interest to you. InfoTrack strives to present impartial, balanced coverage of every story. I'm your host, Chris Whitting, along with a team of talented reporters and legendary announcer, Charlie Van Dyke. InfoTrack, Saturday mornings at 8:05 a.m. and Sundays at 9 a.m. here on WVBF AM 1530 and 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
One more commercial, because I need to...
If you are 75 years or older
Yes,
and suffer from food insecurity,
Boston.
the St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry is here to help. We serve the families of Middleborough, Lakeville, Harvard, and Rochester. Please leave a message on our pantry hotline at 508-947-1717. A volunteer will call back to gather some needed information. Obtain your desired list of groceries. These will be collected for you and delivered to your home free of charge. May the good Lord bless you and keep you safe.
Okay. See here. 33. There we go. Okay, and we're back. 9:53 a.m. here. A couple minutes here to talk about St. Patrick's Day. First off, let's start off by saying when St. Patrick's Day is next week. And it is coming up very, very quickly. It will be March 15th, Sunday, March 15th. The St. Patrick's Day parade is St. Patrick. I'm sorry, not the 15th. The St. Patrick's Day parade is the 15th. It will be held on the 17th of March. So that is when that will be. That's coming up on Tuesday. I apologize there. But the parade, we'll talk about that in a second. But there are several events happening this weekend and into the beginning of next week when it comes to St. Patrick's Day. Let's start off in Taunton. The Taunton Area Community Table is hosting the St. Patrick's Day lunch, which is open to everyone. That's coming up on St. Patrick's Day. That is Tuesday, March 17th, 378 Bay Street in Taunton. There will be a sit-down meal, 11:15 a.m. to 12:15 p.m., and to-go meal, 12:15 p.m. to 12:30. No cost, no reservations, just delicious corned beef and cabbage and great company. So that is coming up on Tuesday, 378 Bay Street in Taunton. For Boston, let's talk a little bit about Boston, and then we'll talk about Middleborough as well. I got to get the Middleborough St. Patrick's Day events up. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes after the news, probably. But the 2026 St. Patrick's Day Parade for Boston will be this Sunday at 11:30 a.m. in South Boston. There will be a 3.5-mile route in reverse this year, which is starting at Andrews Square. And we'll talk a little bit about the MBTA as well and what to expect there. But it starts at 11:30 a.m. It will be very crowded. There will be a lot of people there, so maybe try to get to the event early. Take the train in early. Try to get there early for the event. The event will feature lots of marching bands, floats, as well, celebrating both St. Patrick's Day and also Evacuation Day as well. So apparently there will be a Dropkick Murphys concert at the House of Blues. We'll talk. We'll try to get the information for that and talk a little bit about that. So we have that as well. The route. Let's talk about the route a little bit more. Starts at Andrews Square, like I mentioned, moves up Dorchester Street, turns onto Telegraph Street, goes around Thomas Park, and proceeds down Broadway to end at A Street in Boston. So there you go. Now, just mentioned there, Dropkick Murphys will have a concert, and let's talk a little bit about that. So they have a tour. They have a St. Patrick's Day tour, of course, going on. They have a couple of events going on. Tonight they are at MGM Music Hall at Fenway. Then they're back there tomorrow. And also the next day after that, Sunday the 15th. Then they're at the Citizens House of Blues on Tuesday. And that is going to be Citizens House of Blues in Boston on Tuesday. That is St. Patrick's Day. That is the event for St. Patrick's Day. That is sold out. You're going to be unable to get tickets to that one. It is sold out. And then after that, they're done until June. They got a tour date in Canada, and then they're going to be in Dublin coming up on June 25th. And then they're going to be in England. So there you go. Then they won't be back here probably all summer. It looks like this summer they'll be in Europe. So that's what's coming up for the Dropkick Murphys. The St. Patrick's Day breakfast. That this year will be hosted by State Senator Nick Collins. It begins at 9 a.m. on Sunday. And it goes to noon at the Ironworkers Local 7 Union Hall, which is in South Boston. There'll be a live stream on the website. It's also on NECN and NESN, Comcast 923 and 1072. And it also will be on the radio as well. WROL Irish Radio, which is 100.3 FM, 950 AM. So the 2026 St. Patrick's Day breakfast will happen this Sunday, hosted by Senator Nick Collins. And at 10 o'clock here, after our 10 o'clock news, we're going to talk about the MBTA and what to expect for the MBTA for St. Patrick's Day. So we'll get to that. And the parade as well. What to expect this weekend and into the early part of next week for the MBTA for St. Patrick's Day. We're going to talk about that after our 10 o'clock news because it is 10 o'clock. Stay tuned. We've got a whole another hour of Hometown Talk coming up. Open phone lines 508-822-1106, but it is 10 o'clock. We'll be right back after the news.
We KTVR AM 1530, WVBF Middleborough Taunton, and W259DD Middleborough Center, 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall.
Siri, text
I'm
Dad.
Greg Cluxton in Washington. The
What do you want
bodies
to
of four
say?
American service
I
members
think I'll
have
get
been
my
found
headlight
following
taken
the
care of
crash their
tomorrow
military
morning
refueling plane
after
in western
work.
Iraq. The search continues
For
for
sure.
the other two crew members. We
I
get the
don't
latest from the
know if I want to
BBC.
do it today.
U.S. Central Command says the circumstances of the crash of the KC-135
Okay,
are still
sending.
under investigation, but the loss of the plane was not due to hostile or friendly fire. According to the U.S. military, a second aircraft involved in the incident landed safely. The crash happened in an area of Western
10
Iraq
o'clock, everybody.
where
We're
Iranian
coming up
militias operate.
At a
on
Pentagon briefing this morning, Defense Secretary Pete
the
Hegseth
second hour
said
here in a
Iran's
couple
new
minutes.
Supreme leader is wounded and likely disfigured. Yesterday, Iranian state TV read a statement from the new Ayatollah, but he did not appear on camera. A large explosion rocked an area of Iran's capital today, where thousands were gathered for a mass demonstration calling for Israel's demise. Meanwhile, in Turkey, NATO defenses intercepted another ballistic missile fired from Iran, the third time since the war began. President Trump says he doesn't think it would be appropriate for the Iranian soccer team to attend this year's World Cup.
The president on Thursday cited the life and safety of Iranian athletes as reasons why the team's members should not attend. The U.S. will be hosting the World Cup alongside Mexico and Canada. Earlier this week, the president had reassured the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, that Iranian players and coaches would be welcome despite the war. Iranian leaders say it is not possible for their country to take part in the World Cup. Behind your report.
The government reports this morning the U.S. economy advanced at a sluggish 0.7% in the last 3 months of last year, a big downgrade. More at townhall.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what? End up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
Hi, everyone. Super Bowl champ Vernon Davis here from Legal Help Center. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up, because we have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. You can find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, Vernon. You heard it, folks. If you've been injured, call and find out how much you qualify for. Call 800-541-5100. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states. Not available in California.
Correspondent Ken Lorman reports on whether Iran's war effort is running out of money.
Satellite imagery suggests reduced shipping activity at Iran's Assalia gas and petrochemical complex, raising concerns about the regime's cash flow and its ability to pay the Revolutionary Guard Corps. Reports of strikes, desertions, and even an attack on the regime's main payroll bank.
First hour done.
Growing
37 degrees. Warming up. I wonder if it's going to be warmer than
Man with a
42.
rifle crashed into a Michigan synagogue in
Might
what
be.
federal officials say was an attack.
Couple degrees
Officials
warmer.
say the man was killed by security after ramming into Temple,
Maybe.
Israel in West Bloomfield Township
Anyway.
near Detroit. Authorities say he drove down a hallway in a vehicle, then caught fire. The FBI is leading the investigation.
All right.
It was an attack on one of the nation's largest Reform synagogues. More details from townhall.com. NASA has cleared its Artemis moon rocket for an April launch with 4 astronauts. NASA's new moon rocket's been in the hangar for repairs, but now
All the teams polled go to launch and fly Artemis 2 around the moon.
NASA's Lori Glaze.
It's a test flight and it is not without risk, but our team and our hardware are ready.
Glaze says Artemis will roll back to the launch pad at Florida's Kennedy Space Center next week. And while cautioning there's still work to be done there,
We are on track for a launch as early as April 1st.
it'll mark humanity's first trip to the moon in more than 50 years. targeting a lunar landing for 2028. I'm Ben Thomas. 85-year-old Congressman Jim Clyburn of South Carolina has no plans to retire. He announced this week he will run for an
85
in November. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I mean, there's older people in there. I mean, Chuck Grassley's what?
The opinions expressed in this
91.
program are those of the host and do not express the views of
Okay.
WVVF ownership
Oh, I forgot.
or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
Okay. Anyway, what am I doing here? 10.
It's time for Hometown Talk on AM 1530
Oh,
and
six.
99.7 FM.
I'm
Your
the second
hometown
hour.
radio station. Our phone lines are now
All right.
open at 508-822-1106.
All right. Words. All right. Good. Good. All right. Here we go. All right, we're back. I turned down the bumper music. There we go. 10:06 a.m. here. Welcome to the second hour of Hometown Talk today, the Friday edition of Hometown Talk. It's March 13th, 2026. I am Joey Driscoll. Open phone lines today, 508-822-1106 is the number to call. After we talk about St. Patrick's Day, we're going to switch over to our sports. We're going to do some local sports today and some national sports. We'll go over some of the Patriots free agent signings as well. We'll give quick updates on the Bruins, Celtics, and things like that. Celtics suffered a heartbreaking loss to a very good team, but that's to be expected. You can't win them all. And Oklahoma City is very, very, very good. One of the best teams in the league. That's kind of what I expected to happen there. Is that a potential big-time game coming down the road later on in the season? Oklahoma and Boston. Yeah, you never know. You never know. Oklahoma seems to be just picking up where they left off last year. So see what happens in June. But we'll get to sports in just a minute. But I want to mention with the MBTA and St. Patrick's Day. The MBTA is preparing for the annual St. Patrick's Day Parade and festivities in South Boston, which will be on Sunday, March 15th, with nearly 1 million people expected to attend. The MBTA is implementing several measures to accommodate the increased ridership and remind the riding public what everyone can do to maintain a safe and family-friendly environment. Additional service and bus route detours. Shuttle buses. The MBTA will provide free shuttle bus service from South Station to South Boston from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the day of the parade, which will be a Sunday. Red Line. The Red Line service will operate rush hour service between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Trains will could bypass Broadway during certain times due to heavy crowds. Bus detours. Due to road closures the day of the parade, some detours will be implemented. Some bus routes will skip Andrew and Broadway in detour service around the parade area. Commuter rail. Rail trains will run additional cars to accommodate parade attendees. Additional customer service and management staff, they'll be available at South Station to answer any questions and assist customers. And also a $10 weekend pass. Those are valid for unlimited travel on all commuter rail lines in all zones on Saturday and Sunday. Riders are encouraged to buy them in advance with the able to take a nap. Excuse me. The Transit Police Department under the leadership of Chief Kenneth Green, will significantly increase officer presence throughout the system to deter crime and respond swiftly to any incidents. They urge riders, MBTA does, to celebrate responsibly, leave their vehicles at home, take public transportation to facilities, and follow the safety tips. And those safety tips are as follows. Alcohol consumption or unruly behavior will not be tolerated on the MBTA. Secure personal belongings, especially in crowded areas. If wearing a backpack, remove it and hold it at your side or set it between your feet. Leave large items like coolers at home. Let riders off the trains before boarding. Travel without bikes. Bikes are not included, are not allowed on the MBTA at any time of the day during the parade. This includes folding bikes as well. You can report any suspicious activity or individuals in distress to the nearest police officer. Call the transit police at 617-222-1212 or dial 911. You can also download the MBTA Say app to quickly and swiftly report suspicious activity to transit police. Using this app, riders can send transit police pictures, text messages, and locations of suspicious activity. So there you go. That is pretty much what is going on for this weekend. And also, while we're here, while we're doing transportation here, talking about transportation, we might not talk about it, later on. We might get held up with some other things we're talking about, like sports and other music things as well later on in the hour. Let's talk a little bit about the MBTA right now. Got two big things here I want to mention. The MBTA has expanded bus service around Houghton's Pond. I believe I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, please give me a call, 508-822-1106. And Hingham and Hull. The MBTA has announced a one-year service pilot to expand service on bus routes 714 and 716, supported by a $1.5 million federal transit transformation program funding combined with MBTA investment. The enhancements will improve service for riders in Boston, in Mattapan, Canton, Cohasset, Hingham, Hull, and Milton. Beginning Sunday, April 5th, 2026, both routes will add a second vehicle, allowing for more frequent service and expanded connections. Stops along those routes are in process of transitioning from flag stops to permanent bus stops. But for the time being, riders should flag the stop they wish to enter or exit the bus along the fixed route. For Route 714, the Hull Ferry Terminal in Hull to Hingham Depot in Hingham. This route will operate every 30 minutes, 7 days a week. This is an improvement from the current 60 minutes frequency between buses. Service will strengthen connections to the Hull Ferry, Route 220 in Hingham, and introduce a new connection to the commuter rail at Nantasket Junction. Also will serve Hull Town Hall and Hull Public Library. Route 716, Mattapan Station to the Village Shops of Canton. This route will operate 40 to 45 minutes, every 40 to 45 minutes, 7 days a week. This is an improvement from the 70 to 90 minute frequencies between buses right now. Sunday service will be introduced for the first time as well. Existing connections include Brockton Area Transit Authority, BAT, Route 14, the Mattapan Trolley and local bus routes, and commuter rail service at Canton Center, and a new connection which includes the commuter rail station Acton Junction. This will also service, as I mentioned earlier, Houghton's Pond, the Blue Hills and Trailside Museum, and also Curry College. This route will serve as well. Seasonal weekend service to Houghton Pond as well. That will return on Route 716. That's beginning May 23rd, 2026 through Indigenous Peoples Day, with earlier and more frequent service supported by additional vehicles. And I believe Indigenous Peoples Day, that's in October. So that's from May to October. Let's take a phone call and say good morning, caller.
Hi there, Bob. How are you? I've been looking for you for a couple of days.
Democratic Cowboy, how you doing today?
Yeah, I've been waiting to call you a couple of days. What's your theory on $42,485 for WrestleMania?
Ticket prices? Sounds about right.
That's what the front row is for one seat.
That sounds right. Sounds right.
Huh?
That sounds right. I mean,
Sounds right?
it sounds right. $42,000.
Pretty insane.
It is.
Roman Reigns and CM Punk, $42,485 for one seat. I didn't even pay that to see Toro Tanaka take on Lee Wong Hong Kong over Jack Wookies.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a front row seat at Allegiant Stadium, I would say $42,000 makes sense. Is it ridiculous? Yes, absolutely, it's ridiculous, but it makes sense.
$700 to see Stephanie McMahon get her Hall of Fame award with AJ Styles. One seat, Hall of Fame.
Wow. That's just what some of these events are going for. That's the Hall of Fame. So the huge difference between the Hall of Fame and WrestleMania, but yeah, I didn't
pay a dime to see Fred Blassie sit on the stage down in Lincoln Park and watch the show.
Yeah, it's wrestling has changed very, very much. So I'd like to see what the ticket prices are for I believe the next AEW event, which is Revolution. I'd like to see what the ticket prices are there.
Yeah. Yeah. And NXT, what are the prices on it? $30?
Probably. Probably. I mean, somewhere around that. Probably that's probably the low ball. For some tickets.
Ryan Drew's got the best. I hope everybody comes up here and knows that because we got to tell them everywhere. Shane Thomas is more. Well, I hate to say it in English, but Shane Thomas is more realer than CM Punk. So when Shane Thomas hits you, you know you've been hit. When Caesar Leo gets in that ring and they yell Caesar salad all over the place, he's got the best abs I've ever seen, better than Rick Rude. So come on up, girl.
That's what they say about Gunther as well. When he hits you, yeah, you feel it. It's not fun. Yeah, same thing about. They also say that about Sheamus as well. When he hits you, it isn't fun. And those are big guys, and yeah, they hit pretty hard. Drew McIntyre's another one as well.
Sure they do. I'm telling you, Shane Thomas is an independent wrestler.
Yeah.
So is Caesar Leo. And when me, Kathleen, and Sarah Boy Jade, and Vivian, I think Vivian Olivia, she's a good girl too. And then we got JT Powers from Bridgewater. And then we got who else we got up here? We got we got the Greek. He don't like me too well. He kind of give me the finger when he gets in the ring when I have the camcorder on him.
Yeah, so I heard I didn't talk about this today, but I heard in Brockton they're talking about the school. Did you hear about that?
Yeah,
what's going on there?
Renovate or get rid of it. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, so that's something to keep a close eye on. If anyone listening, us Brockton.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm sure there'll be some talk about it this weekend on Stand Up
Oh,
Strong.
I've had many. I'm still getting the aches and pains of going up the back, putting the ring together in that place. I'm telling you, one time we were putting the ring together, me and Jack Savage, and the girls were playing volleyball. And Timmy Delaney was God loved that guy. He was a great guy with the girls. And they were playing volleyball. He was the coach of the girl volleyball team. Isn't that great? A great guy too, being a coach. There was no funny business or nothing with him. He was a straight coach, and he was a legend. And all of a sudden, I was up there setting the ring up, and he says, Bob, want me to stop playing? No, keep right on going with the girls. You got to train the girls how to play volleyball. So keep right on going, Tim. Keep right on going. We'll just put the ring poles over here on the side of the place.
I do want to mention, before I let you go here, because we are up against it on a commercial break, there are 2 wrestling events coming up in this area. One in Taunton tonight, and then 2 weeks from tonight, there will also be Middleborough Mania, I believe it's called. Middleborough Mania, I think 5 or 4. I have to take a look and see what year this is now for that event. But some big events coming up, wrestling events coming up in this area for the next couple of weeks as well.
Coming up next Friday night don't forget the Chi-Time Rumble in Brockton here with the Chachi and the title fight between him and Chachi and JT Powers and Cecil Leon. Take up to $25 and start at 7 o'clock and get at 10 o'clock, and you'll be home. And I'm telling you, they come. The 3 girls come all the way from Worcester. They come here, and then we got people coming down from Springfield and everywhere to see $25 tickets, not $42,485.
And you will not have a short supply of local wrestling events to go to if you decide to go down to Las Vegas next month for WrestleMania week. There will be tons of wrestling companies that are holding events in Las Vegas for sure. It happens every year. All the independents, they go down to Vegas or wherever WrestleMania is being held and hold events. So it's going to be big.
You know, and Joey, I don't work the email so good, but I like to see a superstar come up here.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I think you could see a WrestleMania here.
You never know. Some merchandise. I need some shirts, and I got my eye on Bruno Sammartino, so I got to save up for it.
I would absolutely love to see a WrestleMania at Gillette Stadium. Will it happen? I don't know. The current configuration of the stadium.
Joey, you just got your wish. Number 49 is going to go in Gillette Stadium, and number 50 is going to go Yankees.
I'd love to see that. I would love to see that. Maybe do WrestleMania 49 at Gillette Stadium and then do WrestleMania 50 back at MetLife. I think that would be very, very good.
I can't go to the other shows around Middleborough and everything. I got to stay local with this one here. I've only got so much,
Well, 10:23 a.m. We're gonna take our commercial break. We're up against it, but thank you, Democratic Cowboy, for giving us a call again.
Ryan Drew is the best promoter in the world. Come on up, folks.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day, Joe.
Yep, thank you so much. That was
Thank you for letting me on here. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you, Democratic Cowboy. Bye bye.
Bye.
That was Democratic Cowboy giving us a call, talking about some wrestling events coming up in this area. There is a wrestling event I'm going to talk a little about here during our sports segment coming up after the 10:30 news as well. So we'll talk about that coming up after the 10:30 news. But yeah, a lot of events coming up for wrestling over the next couple of weeks as well. Of course, WrestleMania week will be coming up within a month or so now, a little more than a month, right at the end of April. Is when WrestleMania is. WrestleMania 42. It's a 2-night event in Las Vegas. That's where they held it last year. They decided to hold it again in Las Vegas. Next year, if you're looking for WrestleMania in the States, you're out of luck. It is going to be in Saudi Arabia next year. So Maybe there's a second. There's been some rumblings about a second WrestleMania. I don't think they're gonna hold that. I really don't. We'll see. There is rumblings about holding 2 WrestleManias events a year. I don't know. But next year, Saudi Arabia will get WrestleMania 43. And then after that, I think New Orleans is up next. And then I think Indianapolis is up as well. I think Minnesota is up for one as well. I'd like to see, like I mentioned before, it's probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. The stadium, it's outdoors in April in New England. It's cold. They've had WrestleManias in New York and Philadelphia, and it was very cold. And windy and things like that. Weather didn't cooperate 100% before at times. And WrestleMania is an outdoor event for the most part. A lot of the time, it's an outdoor event, and it's been that way for years. So having it at Gillette Stadium, maybe, but probably not. I would say it's most likely a probably not kind of deal with that. All right, finishing up here. Well, we're pretty much done with that here with the MBTA in the bus service and the bus service expansion there. By the way, 508-822-1106, 508-822-1106 is the number to call if you want to call in and talk about what was on your mind this morning. Let's finish up the transportation topic here by talking about the MBTA and their special event trains. They're going to be running 4 event trains to the March 26th Road to 26 Brazil and France friendly match. $30 round trip event train tickets between South Station and Foxborough Gillette Stadium are now available on the M-Ticket app. The MBTA announced that 4 event trains will operate from Boston's South Station to Foxborough Gillette Stadium for the Brazil versus France friendly. And that is coming up on Thursday, March 26th. Quickly approaching a sellout crowd at event. I think it will be a sellout crowd. And the schedule. Let's talk a little bit about the schedule. Train service will operate express from Boston South Station, no stops at Back Bay or Dedham Corporate Center, to Foxborough. Queuing plans will be in place for boarding. Passengers should listen to on-site staff for more information about Group A and B boarding queues. Ample station staff will be present on site on the 26th of March to direct passengers to the appropriate boarding queue, direct pedestrian flow, and answer questions from passengers. The event trains, they will depart after boarding is complete, roughly 15 minutes, beginning at 12:45 p.m. Every 15 minutes, beginning at 12:45 p.m. Passengers in Group A should arrive at South Station by 12, and passengers in Group B should arrive by 12:30. After the match, the first return train will depart 30 minutes after the final whistle. Passengers will be boarded on a first-come, first-served basis, and Boston-bound trains will depart roughly every 15 minutes. Passengers are reminded to make their way to the station directly after the game ends to ensure they board their train home. Franklin Foxborough line changes on the 26th of March. There will be no regular service to Foxborough the entire day. Train 1708, which is the early 5:57 a.m. train to Foxborough and South Station, and 5:47 a.m. train to South Station will only operate between Reedville and South Station, and that's via the Fairmont line. Between South Station and Forge Park, the following trains will not operate. Train 735 Train 744, 771, 776, and 792. Train 743 will be 17 minutes later than normal. Fairmont line. Well, we'll continue this here. It's 10:30 a.m. We'll continue this update on that when we come back from our news. We'll be right back.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. In the aftermath of two terror attacks on American soil yesterday, one at a synagogue in Michigan and the other at Old Dominion University in Virginia, Americans need to be prepared to fight Islamic radicalism both at home and abroad. That's the view of Pennsylvania Congressman Scott Perry, who tells the Salem News program this week on Capitol Hill with Tony Perkins that the battles being fought with Iran will now impact us here in the United States.
Of course, we've got concerns in our own country of these people that have been brought here, who have come here, who are now being actualized to attack America, and we're going to have to deal with them on a one-by-one basis. The American people need to understand that this Islamist extremism that is rooted in Iran and other places around the Middle East is not going to quit. It is their goal. It is their mission to take over the entire world. And unfortunately, we're going to have to stand strong and remain committed for the long haul. We're going to lose our way of life.
Congressman Perry serves on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. His entire interview will be broadcast when This Week on Capitol Hill airs starting at 10 a.m. Saturday on the Salem News Channel.
189.
On day 14 of the war, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says Iran's leadership has become desperate and is hiding underground.
We know the new so-called
And 110.
not so supreme
Let's
leader
do my two.
is wounded and likely disfigured. He put out a statement yesterday,
I think
a
we're
weak
gonna be
one,
done with the
actually,
ads
but there was no
for the
voice
show.
and there was no video. It was a written statement. He called for unity,
In the first half?
apparently killing tens of thousands of protesters.
Yeah, we did.
This kind of unity.
Joint Chiefs Chairman Dan Kane says a rescue operation is underway
Okay,
after a
David.
U.S. military refueling plane went down in western Iraq, killing 4 American service members. There's a search for the other 2 crew members. More on these stories at townhall.com.
So my friends over at Pure Talk have been sending me customer feedback from consumeraffairs.com, where thousands of people rate and review the top wireless providers. Here, for instance, is a nice note from James in Raleigh, North Carolina, who writes, quote, after hearing Mike Rowe's ad, we made the switch to Pure Talk and we couldn't be happier. We went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today! Exclamation point. Pure Talk is saving James $820 a year. And because he literally wrote the words switch today in capital letters with an exclamation point, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this commercial to him. So folks, take it from James in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pure Talk can give you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on the same 5G service the big guys are overcharging you for. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. You'll also save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 to save an additional 50%. Thanks, James.
Ohio State has named a successor to its former president who abruptly resigned.
Ohio State has elevated its chief academic officer to president, bypassing the traditional nationwide search. Trustees have voted unanimously to appoint executive vice president and provost Robbie Balamkonda as former president Walter Ted Carter Jr.'s successor. He joined Ohio State after holding leadership, research, or teaching positions at Emory University, Duke, Georgia Tech, and Case Western Reserve University. Carter abruptly resigned as president Sunday following revelations about his inappropriate relationship with the female host of a podcast for military veterans. I'm Mike Hempen.
The Commerce Department has revised downward the fourth quarter GDP to just 0.7%, a major downgrade. That's half the growth of the first estimate. News and analysis at townhall.com. As we've reported this week, 2 people in northwest Indiana were killed when tornadoes touched down. The stormy weather also hit an area south of Chicago. Governor J.B. Pritzker says Illinois was fortunate.
Thank God no lives were lost here, but these storms have caused a number of minor injuries, as well as 300 impacted properties. I think it's now up to 460 that have been evaluated for some damage.
The United States is dealing with a stretch of weather extremes, from flooding rain to record heat and late season snow. Example, Washington, D.C. 2 days ago hit a record 86 degrees. Then yesterday, snow fell in the afternoon. Meteorologists say the Southwest faces a heat dome. Polar cold will push into the Midwest and East. Even Hawaii dealing with an atmospheric river and flash flooding. More on these stories at townhall.com.
At some health systems, cancer care can make you feel like a number. At South Coast Health Cancer Care, you're more than a diagnosis. We offer the most advanced treatments and the latest surgical advancements, led by a connected team of experts who not only see your cancer, but all of you. Because healing isn't just medicine, it's compassion, it's connection, it's care that knows your story and walks along with you. We are South Coast Health Cancer Care. Visit southcoast.org/cancercare.
110. And then we're done with the commercials.
Hey, restaurants, when it comes to great foods and in-house operations, you got it down to a science. But when it comes to online marketing, ordering,
We're done with the commercials now.
Devour Now has got you covered. Devour Now has 0% commission, no setup costs, and the delivery solution you've been hoping for. Go to getdevournow.com to request a demo and to get started today. That's getdevournow.com. Commission-free online marketing, ordering, and delivery.
Okay. Okay. Finish this up. And we're back. 23 minutes left in the program today. 10:37 a.m. Open phone lines, 508-822-1106. Let's continue with our transportation segment here by talking about, we were talking about the friendly matchup coming up, the soccer matchup coming up on March 26th, and some of the changes there with the MBTA. Providence Stoughton line, train 972, which is a 7:18 p.m. train, will operate via the Fairmount line, making all stops between Fairmount and South Station. All other trains will operate according to normal scheduling. That's the Providence Stoughton line. And then the Fairmount line trains will operate every 60 to 90 minutes after noon on the 26th of March. So there you go. Again, this is all the changes the MBT will be going through for the March 26th, Thursday, March 26th event. It is the Brazil versus France friendly at Gillette Stadium, the Road to 26 friendly match. And speaking of World Cup 2026, those matches at Gillette Stadium for the World Cup will go forward. There has been a agreement and money secured, and that was announced by the Kraft Sports Group this week. So the events for the World Cup, the soccer matches that will be held at Gillette Stadium for the World Cup will go forward. All right. Let's do a quick little music segment here, and then we'll finish with our sports today. Now, we've got a couple of things to talk about for our music segment. There we go. And one of those things is Deep Purple. Now, a little bit of an update on Deep Purple. I went to go see them. I think this was about 2 years ago now, I think, at this point. I went to go see them, or it might have been last year, I'm not sure, in New Hampshire. Very, very good concert. Yes opened up for them. Yes was amazing. I loved it. I loved Yes. Loved every second of that concert. Yes was amazing. Deep Purple was amazing. It was in New Hampshire. Great event. They will hold their first date, or one of the first dates that have been announced. I don't know if it's the first date that they'll be holding in the United States this year, but Deep Purple will perform at the Ravienna Festival in Highland Park. And that's coming up on August 25th, together with a really, really special guest, Kansas. I'll say that again. Kansas is opening up with Deep Purple. Amazing. That is amazing stuff. And that is Deep Purple's former and longest serving guitarist band before joining Deep Purple. He was with Kansas. So there you go. It'll be interesting to see what is going on there. That outdoor music festival has a lot of great artists for their 2026 season. Rod Stewart, Paul Simon, Gladys Knight, Ricky Martin, Miranda Lambert, Ziggy Marley, and Chicago Symphony Orchestra will have a 6-week residency there as well. So Highland Park, Illinois is where that will be coming up in August. I don't know if that's the first tour date for them. I assume not. I assume there will be other tour dates in the summer for Deep Purple. But there you go. Quick little update on Rush. I mentioned several times that they're going on tour. It is now officially, and our phone is ringing. Our business line phone is ringing. It is officially a world tour, and a lot of the U.S. tour dates are sold out. The Los Angeles tour dates that are starting the tour are sold out. Mexico City, one of those is sold out. Fort Worth, Texas is sold out. Chicago, New York, and Toronto all sold out. There are still tickets available for Philadelphia, Detroit, Montreal, Boston, both Boston dates, which will happen on September 12th, 2026 and September 14th, 2026. San Antonio, Denver, Seattle, San Jose, and D.C. And Unckersville, Connecticut. They'll be in Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut in October 30th and November the 1st. So anyone in this area that wants to go see them, you got a couple of options. You got Boston and you got the Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut. And then it is definitely a world tour, because after that, they are going to be in Canada and then South America. There'll be a tour date in France next year, Berlin, Krakow, Poland, Milan, Italy, the Czech Republic, I believe, is on there, Norway, Stockholm, Helsinki, a lot of UK dates as well, and a lot of Germany dates for the Rush 50-something tour, 2026-2027. So there's a little bit of an update there with Rush. Another thing I want to mention is William Shatner will be putting out a heavy metal album. Now, I don't know when this album is coming out. It was just announced a couple of weeks ago. And unfortunately, he's in the hospital right now. He is going to be undergoing surgery for an accident on a horse. So that might delay this album quite a bit. So we'll see what happens there. But this was just announced a couple of weeks ago, this album. It's going to be very interesting to see who's on it and how good it is. I know talked about Christopher Lee before. Christopher Lee, a couple of years before he passed, he put out a couple of albums where he did a lot of heavy metal stuff. And that was really, really good. And I've heard William Shatner on some music before as well, and he is pretty good, I will say. There is a collaboration with him and Michael Schenker on the Temple of Rock, on one of the Temple of Rock albums. I believe it's called Lover's Symphony. The album's called. I believe the song is called How Long. So it's pretty good. He's pretty good. So we'll see what happens there with the William Shatner heavy metal album there. But another quick little thing I want to talk about. There is a video. You can go check this out. Living Legends Music talks a little bit about all this, what I'm just about to talk about here. In August of 1970, 19-year-old Christopher Cross famously filled in for a sick Richie Blackmore on lead guitar for one Deep Purple show, which was in San Antonio, Texas. Cross, who was a local Texas resident, local Texas musician at the time, played with the band at the Jam Factory after Blackmore fell ill, says following a reaction to a flu shot. And there's a video out there with Christopher Cross being interviewed, talking about this, talking about his experience. The connection, apparently a local promoter, Joe Miller, recommended Cross, who was already a fan and knew the band's material. And obviously the set list included Deep Purple's hits and the Aftermath apparently as well. Cross apparently later met with Richie Blackmore at the airport, where the Deep Purple guitarist thanked him for covering the gig. So there you go. Pretty interesting thing there. Christopher Cross is amazing. He is amazing, and that is a really cool opportunity for him to have at such a young age, 19 years old for Christopher Cross, getting to play with Deep Purple, and not just any Deep Purple, 1970 Deep Purple. They were at the height of their powers at that point. Deep Purple was. So that is pretty big and pretty impressive stuff. All right, we're going to move on to our sports now. Open phone lines today, 508-822-1106. We got about 12 minutes left in the program today. We're just going to focus on the local MIAA sports and the Patriots today, because we don't have a lot of time to talk about much else on the show today. So let's talk quickly about the Patriots and their free agency so far. And this is a breakdown about every signing that they've had so far. Romeo Doubs, he's signing a 4-year deal worth up to $80 million. The 6'2", 201-pound Doubs represents the Patriots' big swing in free agencies. Well, big swing so far. You know, there is talk about A.J. Brown, but haven't seen that yet. And probably won't see that for quite a while at this point. There is rumblings that he will not get traded until after June 1st. If he gets traded at all, he could remain on the Eagles. So we'll see what happens there. Apparently, the Patriots seem to be the only team, according to rumors, the Patriots seem to be the only team that is in on Brown right now. I mean, and obviously that could change. You know, we're 3 months away from June 1st. I just don't think the Patriots are going to go after A.J. Brown. I don't think they're going to wait that long. I think they're going to be talking to the Saints. And I think they're going to talk about Chris Olave with the Saints. Or apparently Alvin Kamara is also available for a potential trade. Either of those two would be just as good, I think, in my opinion, to have. I just don't think the A.J. Brown trade is going to happen. Another trade that happened, another signing that happened, Elijah Vera Tucker, guard, a big name, agreed to a 3-year, $42 million deal. After the Patriots agreed to trade starting center Garrett Bradbury to the Bears, the Bears are going to be amazing next year. They went on a warpath here in free agency. They signed a lot of players, and they're going to be very, very good next year. They are looking to win a Super Bowl, and I think they've made the moves to potentially do that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Of course, way too early to say the Bears are going to win the Super Bowl, but I think they're one of my favorites. They're up there for sure after what the free agency that they had. Very good free agency. So the Patriots traded Garrett Bradbury to the Bears for a 2027 fifth-round pick. It opened the door to move Jerry Wilson from left guard to center, bumped left guard up the list of team needs. Enter Vera Tucker. The Patriots are banking on him on his return to health to slot him between Will Campbell at left tackle and Wilson at center, which will solidify the protection in the front of quarterback Drake May. The team still has 4-year player Ben Brown as well as a backup and could use one of its 11 draft picks at that position to continue to build depth. Draymond Jones on the edge. What it means for this, he agreed to a 3-year, $39 million deal. One obviously priority was to address the edge and pass rush, and Jones is a step in that direction. He was a Titan and a Raven last year as well. Another big name, and also a name that played for Mike Vrabel. So starting to get some more players who played for Mike Vrabel on the Titans here on the Patriots. Kevin Byard III is a safety, 1-year, $8 million deal. His transition to the Patriots is going to be a smooth one because, again, he's played with Mike Vrabel before. He is considered a pro. He is always available and still has high-end range, so going to be very good. He has 36 career interceptions. Reggie Gillum, fullback, 3-year deal worth $12 million, $6 million guaranteed. So that just helps us in the run game. Julian Hill helps us in tight end, 3-year, $18 million deal. Enters his 4th NFL season after breaking into the league and drafted out of Campbell, was not tendered as a restricted free agent. The Patriots obviously see something in him to give him a 3-year deal. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Safety Mike Brown, he agreed to a 1-year deal. The details of that are not available right now, but a 1-year deal. He, again, another player who used to play for Mike Vrabel, as well as safeties coach Scott Booker. So he was also a restricted free agent, not tendered a contract. KJ Britt, that's a big name. I like this. I like this pick a lot. He's signing a 1-year deal. Linebacker. He entered the NFL in 2021, 5th-round pick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Will vie for a backup role behind Spillane and Ellis with a potential significant role on special teams. He is here, I think, squarely as a special teams player, and he is a very good special teams player. So those are your, Patriots pickups right now. There doesn't seem to be much more news other than Kyler Murray has signed with the Minnesota Vikings. So Kyler Murray goes from Arizona to Minnesota. So there you go. There's your update there on the NFL. Not much going on today. Been quiet since day 3, really. It's been kind of quiet in the NFL now. A lot of the major signings that were going to happen have happened. A.J. Brown, that's trade is not going to happen for a while, if it even happens at all. Apparently after June 1st, potentially, because of cap restrictions, cap hits and stuff like that. I think the Patriots are going to be talking to the Saints, either for Chris Olave or for Alvin Kamara. I don't think AJ Brown lands here in New England. All right, here we go. The MIAA boys basketball, girls basketball, boys hockey, and girls hockey tournaments. I'll start with MIAA boys basketball. This is going to be out of order. I apologize, but these are going to be out of order. This is just how I have them up here. MIAA boys basketball Division 5 state tournament, the final. And these are all, I believe, are at the finals at this point. The final will be, the final will be on the 15th at 2 p.m. at the Tsongas Center. It'll be Hoosick Valley Middle High School taking on Holbrook. Again, on the 15th, that's Sunday, 2 p.m. at the Tsongas Center. So there you go. Then we have MIAA Girls Ice Hockey Division 1 State Tournament. And we go to the championship round here. And it is going to be on the 15th at 5:30 p.m. at TD Garden. It is Archbishop Williams taking on Methuen. Then we have, after that, the championship round for Division 2 Girls Ice Hockey. And that is as follows, also on the 15th at 9 a.m. at TD Garden. King Philip Regional High School versus Milton. So we have a local school, King Philip, in the final. Then we have MIAA Boys Ice Hockey Division 1 State Tournament final. I believe everything I'm going to talk about today is at the championship round now. We have St. John's taking on Pope Francis Preparatory School. That will be on Sunday, the 15th at 1 p.m. That's at TD Garden. Then we have MIAA Boys Ice Hockey Division 2 State title game. That is going to be Canton taking on Tewksbury on Sunday at 3 p.m. Also at TD Garden. And if I can, there we go. Division 3 MIAA Boys Ice Hockey. The championship will be decided against Hanover and Medfield on Sunday, 11 a.m. at TD Garden. Then we have the MIAA Boys Basketball Division 3 State Tournament. And the final championship is as follows. It's tomorrow night at 6 p.m. at the Tsongas Center. It's Hanover versus Salem. The MIAA Boys Basketball Division 4 State title game will be Wareham taking on Georgetown. That is tomorrow at 2 p.m. at the Tsongas Center. Then we have Boys Basketball Division 2 State title game will be, if I can get this up, there we go. It will be Massacomet Regional taking on St. Mary's. That will be tonight at 8 p.m. at the Tsongas Center. So the championships, they're pretty much getting underway today. Just by the way there. Our championship for MIAA Boys Basketball Division 1 is Central Catholic taking on Bishop Fian. That is Sunday at 6 p.m. at the Tsongas Center. Got a couple more here to talk about. Might go over a couple minutes, but that's okay. MIAA Girls Basketball Division 3 State Tournament final is as follows. It is Bishop Fenwick taking on Pittsfield. That is Sunday at 4 p.m. at the Tsongas Center. MIAA Girls Basketball Division 2. And that final will be, it will be Medfield taking on St. Mary's tonight at 6:15 p.m. at the Songus Center. Oh, and I ended up tossing one by accident. I apologize. If there will be one that I don't mention. I can't go back now. MIAA girls basketball Division 5 state tournament is as follows. The championship. That is Dury taking on Hopedale. That is the 15th noon Songus Center. Two more here to talk about, and that is the MIAA girls basketball Division 1 state tournament and the final there. That's the semifinals. Hold on, the finals. There we go. And that is Wachusett Regional taking on Springfield Central. That's tomorrow at 4 p.m. at the Songus Center. And finally, the MIAA Boys Ice Hockey 2026 Division 4 State Tournament. The final is as follows. It is Littleton taking on St. Bernard's. That's Sunday, 7:30 p.m. at TD Garden. So there you go. There are all your MIAA except for one division, and I don't know what I missed there. I apologize. I'll go back and listen and see what I missed, and then talk about it on Sunday. Unless the event already happened, then I'll talk about the final of the game. But that is your MIAA tournament for girls basketball, boys basketball, ice hockey, and ice hockey as well. It is 11:01 a.m. I want to thank everyone for joining me today and listening to me on the radio and on YouTube as well. I'll be back again on Sunday for another edition of Middleborough Review. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.
We are AM 50, WVBF, Middleborough, Taunton, and W259DD, Middleborough Center, 99.7 FM.
2 minutes over, but
Radio station.
it's fine. It doesn't matter to me.
In a diplomatic scramble from Beirut to Paris to Washington have called for a ceasefire, support for the Lebanese army
All right.
to seize Hezbollah's arsenal, and eventual direct peace talks with Israel
Okay,
under
so that sounds
American
pretty good.
sponsorship. According to an advisor to President Joseph Aoun,
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Okay, now
the Republic is desperate
that will do it.
all means to stop
All right.
the destruction of the country.
Fill this out.
Attacks, the advisor said.
Okay, there we go. Mm-hmm. Yep, and yep. Okay, here we go. All right. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to today's program. Again, I'll be back on Sunday. If you want to tune in, I'll be back here on YouTube on Sunday. Middleborough Review YouTube channel. You want to check that out. I'm also on Mondays. Middleborough Matters YouTube. Middleborough Matters Radio on YouTube on Mondays. On Sundays, for Middleborough Review, by the way, I'm on at 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. on the Middleborough Review YouTube channel, live, and also on WVBF as well. And then on Mondays for Middleborough Matters Radio on YouTube, I am on from 11 a.m. to noon. So on the YouTube channel there, and also on, of course, WVBF. So with that, I'm going to say bye-bye, everybody. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And again, back here on YouTube live Sunday morning, 7 a.m. to 8. Bye-bye. Oh, wait a minute. End stream. There we go. Bye-bye, everybody.